Welcome to K&F Photography, where I take you on my journey through photography. On today's episode, we're going to shoot the solar eclipse. Man, I can't see anything in these glasses. Welcome to today's episode. If you're not familiar with K&F Photography, we do gear reviews, tips, techniques, and tutorials, and sometimes we dive into film. If any of that sounds appealing to you, click the subscribe button below. So I took a very long journey, like many Americans did, and many people over the world, to capture the 2024 solar eclipse. I got my shoes on and I went all the way to my backyard because I happen to live in the path of totality. So it's cloudy today. We're going to document today's episode. We're going to see what we can pull off. Let's get started on today's episode. Okay, so if you are watching this and you find yourself using this video as a reference to film or shoot a solar eclipse, some things that you absolutely need to do to make sure that you don't screw up. Number one, protect your eyes and wear these glasses. These glasses will filter out all the UV that's going to destroy your eyes. So do not peek up at the sun and look like an idiot and burn your corneas. Secondly, when you're using a camera, you need to have the proper type of ND filter. This is an ND filter that filters out 99.999% of the light. It's a ND 100,000 filter. Now, I got one from K&F Concepts. I've never used it other than just a quick practice to make sure that it did a good job, and it did do a good job. And the reason why you need to get one of these filters is because if you just go grab a regular ND filter and you have the sun concentrating hardcore on your sensor, you may very well destroy your sensor. And I have a feeling that tomorrow a lot of people are going to be calling Canon and Fuji and Sony and Nikon and Panasonic and being like, hey, I need to send my camera in for repairs because they didn't take this advice. So now that we've got that out of the way, I'm using a Canon R7. I'm using a Canon RF600 f11. Is the RF600 f11 the greatest quality lens in the world? It's not, but it's a pretty good quality lens, and it's long enough for this 32 megapixel Canon R7 to get the job done. I own an R5, and I could use the R5 with the 600, but I'm gonna go with the R7. When I combine this RF600 with the R7, you take that 1.6 crop factor into consideration. It's kind of like shooting with a 960 millimeter lens. In theory, it's still technically cropped, but it's going to present like 960 millimeters. So that's all I'm using today. I'm gonna use my tripod, and let's get started and see what we can come up with. The eclipse starts in about 30 minutes, so that'll give me some time, and it's still about 2 hours until we get to a full eclipse.
I also downloaded Photo Pills, which is an app I've been using for years. There's this really cool thing called augmented reality where you can see the path of the sun, and I used it on today's episode. So check out Photo Pills if you haven't gotten that already.
So I'm doing some practice shots first, and I'm looking up at the sun through the glasses just to kind of figure out where it is. And I'm checking my work in this viewfinder, which actually I'm gonna get this a little higher because I do want to be able to look through the viewfinder to see what's going on. There we go. There's Mr. Sunshine right there. I can see him. There's the sun. He's making appearances here and there. I can see it right now. So let's turn this guy on. Oh, there's Mr. Sunshine. Never underestimate the quality of a good tripod, which I never shoot on. I'm gonna be tested by tripods today. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get anything today. We'll see. It's gonna be a tough one. Mr. Sunshine is not cooperating. Now I am using the Photo Pills app, so it's gonna let me know the sun's gonna be about right there. Right now it's right there, so it's gotta go about another 15 degrees or so. So we shall see, that's for sure.
After a few minutes of frustration, I finally saw some sun.
So the sun keeps playing tricks on me. I'm actually gonna try to handhold some of this with image stabilization and IBIS. Let's see what we can pull off. You can see The moon is coming from the right. I can see it right now. Yeah, we're starting to get an eclipse. This is freaking awesome. I'm looking at the video and I can see the truncating. Yeah, the moon is definitely truncating the sun. Starting to see it on the lower right, for sure. All right, Mr. Sunshine's making an appearance. Let's get a few more shots. There it is. Hello there, Mr. Sun. Oh, you can definitely see the moon now. That is bright.
Oh yeah, for sure you can see it.
Do you see it with the glasses?
Oh yeah.
Do you see the truncating?
Yep.
That is sick. So one thing that's cool about the R7 is that I've got my on mode, which is stills, and my my video mode, and I can just switch back and forth between the two. So as Mr. Sunshine peeks out, I can get a couple stills, and then I can pop it over and get a little bit of video for all of you. And honestly, I think the video is cooler. I remember last time I filmed the solar eclipse, the one that happened last year, it wasn't totality here, but we had a solar eclipse here. And one of the coolest things, I'm not gonna unfortunately be able to experience that today, is you could actually see the particles in the atmosphere. I don't know if it was satellites or just space debris or whatever, you could just see it going by at like 20,000 miles an hour. You could just see like the specular highlights hit the pieces of metal or rock or whatever it was. I don't think we're gonna get that today because we have cloud cover, but nonetheless, it's kind of cool to experience. Today, of course, is going to be a different experience. We're going to experience a total solar eclipse, so it's gonna get super dark. I'm really excited to see what happens. I'll probably screw my camera settings up. Chances are I'll have my ND filter a little bit too dark for when it goes into totality because I'll be caught up in the moment. So if some of that recording looks like garbage, my apologies. But this is more about the experience and capturing this once in a lifetime event. So we're exactly 1 hour from totality, and I figured I'd get myself a beer. I want to get a few shots of totality stills, and I want to get some video. I only have 4 minutes, so as long as the weather cooperates, I should be able to get it. As we stand right now, I am getting some decent shots of this process occurring, but I'm only getting like little spurts where it'll disappear for a few minutes and then it'll come back for like 30 seconds. So what I'm hoping is that the few minutes that it disappears isn't during totality. I hope that we're able to see something. So let's keep our fingers crossed. So we're about 30 minutes to totality and we're getting spottiness. That's about it. Clouds are low. So for every 30 seconds I get to see it, there's about 5 minutes of clouds. So I'm just hoping that that synchronizes up with totality and we get a few shots. All right, so I'm actually doing video recording right now because I'm shooting at 60 frames per second, and if I really need to pull a still out of this, I can just pull it out and post, right? If I really need to, I just want to do a time lapse of this moving, and moving in front. It's just a crescent right now. It started out as just a tiny little truncated sun, but now we're up to a crescent. We are at 13 minutes to totality, the beginning of totality, so we may very well get lucky. The low clouds have broken. I'm gonna get another beer. As I look up, yeah, it's just a crescent with the glasses. Of course, I can just look at my viewfinder now. We are in prime position. Record a little bit of video for fun on this tripod. It's looking good. All the animals go crazy when these eclipses happen. My dog is eating grass. Hey, if you can't enjoy it with your family, pull your kids out of school, what can you enjoy, man? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
And then, all of a sudden, it hit. I decided to resist the urge to adjust my aperture or my ND filter on my video recording camera because I wanted you to experience what I experienced.
It's eerie. This is absolutely amazing. You can see it. Right there. You can see, I just saw it creep out. You don't need your glasses for this. You hear that? You hear the crickets?
I hear the owl.
Totality ends in about 2 minutes. Here we go. Oh, yeah, it's ending right now. Wow, this is insane.
So that was it. That was the Solar Eclipse 2024. I didn't get the quintessential money shot because of the geography of where I was and because of the f-stop I was at, f11. It's a fixed f11 lens and there was low cloud cover. I didn't feel like getting in my car and driving all over the place and competing with a bunch of crazy people who are coming in from out of town who don't know where they're going into small rural towns, maybe to just escape the cloud cover a little bit. I was in the path of totality and I decided that I was just going to take the experience for what it was. And I did still end up seeing the total eclipse. I just didn't see it with my camera. And that's okay because years from now, I'm still going to remember it in my memory. And that is much more important than if maybe I lose a hard drive and I have no memory of that moment. And most importantly, I got to spend it with my family. So it was still overall an amazing experience. And maybe you can take lessons from what I did, and maybe you'll be in another part of the world where this does happen, and maybe you can apply those lessons to when you get to shoot it in the future. That does it for today's episode. I want to thank each and every one of you for checking out today's episode. Did you shoot the solar eclipse? How did it go for you? Did you get cloud cover? Did you get thunderstorms? Tell me about it in the comments below. And if you like this channel, I humbly ask you to click the subscribe button below. And if you like my opinions on photography and videography related subjects, and you want to hear my more uncensored opinions, check out my other YouTube channel, the F11 Photography Podcast. And if you just want to hear it on your commute, you can check it out on Apple and Spotify. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.